Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Grizzly Bear Sim's YouTube channel and welcome back to Midtown USA. This is episode number 15 and we're just going to drive around just a little bit. Actually, I should back up here because we want to check out this first we want to check out this first field here, field number 16. Field number 16 was our first field that we actually planted, and we want to kind of see where we're doing and how we're doing as far as the growth and everything is concerned. Boy, we got some really tall weeds here. Anyway, so our wheat is looking fantastic. I mean, absolutely fantastic. We have 3 days of sunshine, well, 4 days of sunshine actually, if you count today. Today, Thursday, our temperature right now is 59 degrees, soil temperature of 68. Tomorrow is going to top out at 84, Saturday 86, 85 on Sunday. I would expect that probably the game day that represents Saturday is going to be the day that we're going to have the opportunity to begin harvesting wheat and barley, if that's what we choose to do. Our canola is looking equally as well, and that will probably come in around the same time, if not perhaps a little bit after our wheat, which is obviously the way that we would address that anyway. So we've got a hired worker up on field. Let's see, where is he? Field number 8. We have a hired worker that is spraying. We have 2 more fields that we basically have left to spray. So yeah, so we've got just basically one more. Let's see if we can find him. He may have already made a turn there and is heading up. There he goes, right over there, just cresting the hill there. So he is spraying that. As I said, we've got basically 2 more fields that we need to spray. And let's get in the cab and get out of these trees. And so that is basically that field, field number 8, and then this field right up here on the left, this big canola field. These are field number 11. These are our 2 remaining fields that we need to spray to bring up to our 3rd level of fertilization. And so we're going to be getting that done, and of course most likely we'll do that this field here off camera. And let's go ahead and just drive down, just for grins and giggles. Let's drive down and check on this other wheat field. Our barley field right there, that's coming along quite nicely as well, looking good. I tell you what is looking very positive for us is the yield. Haven't seen this healthy of a harvest in quite a long time, so I think we're going to have lots of wheat, lots of barley, lots of straw, lots of work, and hopefully we can get all that done, and then that'll make room for us being able to get those fields flipped around, which is kind of what this series has kind of all been about. It's been what we have been hoping that we could achieve, be able to double plant those fields, get soybeans into those fields before the deadline, before we won't be able to do that anymore. So let's just kind of take a look at that, pull up our seasons menu really quick. So if we can, I'm expecting us to be able to harvest about game day 4 or so. So if you see that we've got plenty of time, so we can. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong thing. We're expecting it to come in probably about right here, and we'll have plenty of time to get our soybeans in the ground and then hopefully be able to harvest come late fall. All right, well, without further ado, folks, let's get with the program for our own work, because obviously I am more than just a boss here on this map. I play an active role in performing tasks as well, and so we need to head on up to our grass meadow, our grass field. This is the one that we planted right up here, field number 12, and we planted this back in the spring, and it is ready to go. It's ready to cut, and obviously ready to harvest and everything. So we are going to be raking, tedding this and raking this and baling it as hay. That is the plan. We're going to take the road on up. It's a little less dangerous, treacherous, a little easier on the equipment to take the road. I was going to call it an improved road, but it's only improved as we get right up here. Hope everyone is having a wonderful day, a wonderful morning, evening, afternoon. I think you guys are going to be watching this episode on or about Wednesday. I think it's the last day of the month, last day of January. I don't know about you, but I can tell you that this month has absolutely flown by, and it's been one of those. For me, I was off for winter break the last week of the year, the last week of 2017. We came back to work, officially went back to work on Tuesday, January the 2nd, and that was a 4-day week. And then the following week was a 5-day week. And then the following week after that was a 4-day week because we were off. Our Martin Luther King Day is a company holiday for us. And so we've had some somewhat odd work schedule, and it's almost, I love a day off. I absolutely do love a day off. I'm absolutely not going to deny that. I do enjoy my time off. I enjoy the time that I have to spend, whether it's working home improvement projects, which is obviously what my wife and I have been doing of recent, or just having some time off to either go out and see something, or maybe just sit here and make farm sim videos for you guys. I mean, that's also rather enjoyable for me as we kind of get things turned on here. I am gonna turn on GPS just simply because we have it, and one of the things that GPS kind of allows me to do is get out of the cab just a little bit and provide some. Our working width is not that big, is it? Provides some sort of additional viewing angles and stuff like that. So a cinema photographer is not what I am, but I do recognize the fact that you guys probably want to see a little bit more than just always staring at the backside of my tractor or implement or whatever else I happen to be doing. So I am going to try to do that a little bit more frequently, a little bit more often. And also we can do this, and we can turn off those lines, and that makes things look a little bit better on the screen. But anyway, the year has just kind of just flown by, and it's a good thing. I mean, it's all a good thing. My wife and I have been having a great time. We've been able to do a little bit of things. She had a very small procedure done on her eyelid. She had a little small growth that the eye doctor, we go once a year and have an eye appointment, basically just checking to see how our eyes are doing. And of course, for me, for the last probably 10 or 11 years, I've basically been having to have my reading glasses adjusted almost each time. That just is part and parcel of getting older. And but anyway, there was I'm not sure why it's not cutting grass right through here. It was all, wow, there we go. Got a huge bump of grass out of that. Not sure if that's a bug with the map or what, but anyway, we'll just kind of ignore that happened. So anyway, she had a very small growth on her eyelid, a little bump, I suppose is what you could call it, and she had that removed just this last week, and so she's been recovering from that and doing quite well with that. And it was kind of an interesting procedure. We went in for a follow-up. We had our eyes examined at the end of 2017, and so this procedure was going to be done at a sort of a specialist's office, and they kind of do get out of the. They do. There we go. They do like cataract surgery and things like that. And so we went in just for a consultation, just thinking, okay, this is, we're gonna talk to the doctor, and he or she will advise us on what we need to do, how we need to do it, etc. And so we went in, and the guy's like, well, I can do it today if you want. He says, you're not going to have really any downtime at all. He says you'll experience a little bit of swelling, a little bit of puffiness. He said it will probably look like you've gotten punched in the eye. And so this is really weird. I don't know, ccs101, if you're still watching my series, you might take a look at this, because again, it's kind of weird how it's just not depositing any grass right along there, and it waits until we get back down here, and then it deposits a whole gob of grass. So obviously we're going to have to deal with that. So looks like right here, boom, we get a whole bunch of grass. So that's probably a bug with the map, would be my guess, or maybe it's a terrain issue, but there again, it's probably something to do with the map. But anyway, so he was able to do it right then and there, and yeah, she did. It sort of looked like, well, I jokingly called her Rocky Balboa, because her left eye, which is where the little bump was basically swollen up and swollen shut really for about 2 days. And then on the third day, it sort of started moving, the bruising and everything sort of started moving down below the eye, and it sort of developed into more of what a sort of a traditional black eye kind of looks like. But she's on the mend, and the report came back. They sent it off, the little sample off, and everything is good to go. So no bad things were a part of that little bump, and so we're pleased about that. But other than that, just really working and enjoying my gameplay on the 3 maps. Now, I will admit that I am glad to be back on MidtownUSA, simply because I have been playing quite a few episodes, or playing quite a bit of Tazewell County, and just kind of getting that series moved along. And as I think I might have mentioned, sort of the whole concept of making hay while the sun is shining. There we go. That's going to work out really well. Making hay while the sun is shining, so to speak, and getting some opportunity to get the episodes out and everything before the map comes out. And so we're kind of developed this rotation of where I think the series and videos and everything will fall within the week, and we're going to be doing 6 videos a week for now. Probably have to scale that back once we maybe get into February or March time frame, just simply because I'm expecting my work schedule and everything to sort of pick up. We're in this sort of end of year, beginning of year lull where not much stuff takes place until we sort of get back into the work year and everything, like in the February, March time frame, and then that's when all the projects start stacking up, and of course it's pretty much Katie bar the door from that point forward, all the way really through into the fall. Try not to do that turn out there in the street. Try to not lose that grass out there. It may not. Really don't know what is causing that. That's I've never encountered that before, with the exception of that time, or the time when I've tried to run the Big M on widespread, and then obviously we had some challenges with that, and it would deposit grass into really big piles. But I'm not really sure why it would basically be behaving like this, but you know, that's okay. We'll just deal with it. We'll deal with it in the aftermath, and everything will, I guess everything will come out okay in the end. Give you guys a little drone shot here. We've got a super fast drone that's following out ahead of our tractor there. So yeah, basically if all works as planned, I would hope that we will start harvesting not tomorrow, but the next game day. And that might be actually when we come back together, or I might make an episode just basically getting everything ready for the harvest, getting our animals tended to, because essentially once we start harvesting our wheat, and that's going to be the first field that we're going to harvest, is going to be our wheat fields. We're going to do our wheat fields first, then we're going to do the barley field. And of course, it is with the intention of being able to turn those fields around post haste and get the soybeans in the ground. For whatever reason, if we feel that we are just not going to be able to get the soybeans in the ground, then we will, you know, rescale our efforts and everything on harvesting. Obviously, we're going to harvest everything, but initially, our first plan of attack is going to be the big wheat field that we planted first, and then getting the wheat off the field, getting the straw baled, getting the straw put into the barn, getting the field fertilized, cultivated, all that kind of stuff, and then we start putting seeds in the ground. When we start that, obviously we're not going to want to have any other disruptions going on. It's really going to be an all-hands effort. We're going to want our animals to be happy and fed, watered. That includes our sheep and our cows, which is what we're running on this map, and no other distractions going on. No vehicle maintenance tasks that we need to do. Nothing but basically focusing on harvesting wheat, getting the wheat off the field, getting the bells off the field, etc. That's going to be our primary and really and truthfully only goals. Only thing we're going to be thinking about and really doing during that time frame is going to be that. So I think what I will do is the next episode number 16, will be about us basically getting our animals up to top up their food, top up their water, maybe getting our bell barn, I should say, maybe organized a little bit. We've got some bells, different size bells and everything in there, sort of all over the place. Getting that a bit organized, doing some maintenance, maybe getting our combine pulled out of the barn, getting things like that ready to go, understand what our plan is going to be, and then when we do come together, and again, if everything falls in the way that I think it will be, the harvest will start on episode number 17, will be when we will be harvesting. Now, for Thornton Farm and like Lawfolds and maps like that, which admittingly those are kind of the only maps that I've done harvests on recently. Those are such small maps and course play. kind of had some challenges and everything. We will be obviously with both this farm, Midtown USA, as well as Tazewell County. We're going to basically be using Courseplay and Auto Combine and pretty much any other artificial intelligence that we can muster up to basically get the tasks done and get the job done and all that kind of stuff. So if you're looking at being able to see multiple pieces of equipment working, operating in the fields together in unison, etc., then those are going to be the things that you will be seeing starting in episode number 17, because again, we will be using Courseplay. Courseplay will be, quite honestly, Courseplay will be a must for me. I will not be able to harvest fields of this size or fields the size as Tazewell County, basically without Courseplay, simply because that the fields are just too big, and the amount of work that needs to be basically done to keep those series and everything moving along, it's just too much work to have to do everything myself in real time. So Courseplay will be my friend. Courseplay is what's going to kind of help keep these episodes on point, on task, and kind of help get us through all of this. Of course, I will document everything as best as possible and kind of bring you up to speed on where we are as we sort of begin things. I wouldn't expect there would be more than two, maybe 2.5, 3 episodes devoted to harvesting of the wheat and barley, just simply to keep things moving. We'll try to do different tasks so that you guys can see different things taking place on the farm. Me operating maybe the auger wagons, the tipper, the semi tippers, etc. Some of that activity just kind of showcase different things. But yeah, we're going to kind of move along, and keep everything going, because we're going to have a lot to harvest on this map. We're going to have a lot of different crop types to harvest on this map. We went wheat, barley, canola, obviously soybeans, sunflowers, some corn. So we're going to have kind of the gamut. We don't have any root crops on this map, but then when we get into Tazewell County, obviously we're only going to be harvesting wheat, corn, soybeans, and mowing grass for hay and silage purposes. So things are going to be a little bit different with regards to that series. But off camera, for the work that I'm putting into this map, these next sort of tasks and steps and everything, I will be raking this off camera, baling this off camera, and then stacking the bales off camera. So when we do come back together for episode number 16, we'll have probably most of the all the bales and everything put away. I can give you a sort of a count as to how productive this field was. Obviously I'll be sorting out this whole mess here. Again, not real sure what's going on. It's kind of looks like there's a line, like a fine division where those occur. So I don't know if it's something like a hidden, if there's something that's like a hidden underground thing that we can't see from the surface. Again, there might be just something with the field itself that is just a little bit squirrely. And this is, by the way, this is the same version of the map that I have been playing with from the moment that I got this map and started this series 15 episodes ago. It is possible that the version that is on FSUK, the actual version, the general availability version, does not have that issue. And of course, it's possible that if I had planted, wheat or corn or something on this field, that we wouldn't have even seen that. But there's something a little odd about grass and how it positions the grass there. So I don't know if ccs101 is still watching. If you want to maybe take a look at that and see what that might be. I don't think it's anything to do with this equipment. This is all pretty much default this is default stuff. Now, for those of you that have watched other series, other maps on my series, you know that we had a weird issue on Mountain View Farm with the tedder and the rake not being able to properly pick up some grass, some hay, stuff like that. I don't know if this is something that's similar. Um, Rumor, sort of some of the conversations and suggestions during that series was it might have been related to the rake that I was using, even though it was a default in-game rake. There might have been something that was causing that with that. I don't know. I don't think I've used that rake since, and certainly won't be using it on this farm. We're using a little bit bigger rake, and of course, on Tazewell County, we're going to go with the big jumbo rake for that map. So, all right, well, folks, we're coming up on 26 minutes on our episode here, so I'm going to start wrapping things up. And I appreciate you guys watching my videos. Please like and subscribe. If you are new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button. I appreciate that very much. I'm going to be thinking about giveaways coming up, and how I'm going to do that for 2018. I'm honestly thinking that I may sort of save and accumulate my YouTube advertising earnings, what little bit there is from that. I don't make a whole lot from YouTube advertising, but I do make enough per year or whatever to fund some giveaways, and that's kind of why I do the monetization of my channel, is for that purpose, and really that purpose only. I don't do it for the income, because quite honestly there's not a whole lot of that. But I'm thinking, there is some new DLC that's coming out in, I believe, March, but there's not much to it, and a lot of opinion and everything out there is folks just really aren't interested in that, because it's kind of, while it's not just retextured equipment, these really do appear to be sort of new to the game. They're ROPA equipment. I couldn't think of that name in a previous episode when I was trying to talk about that, but it's the ROPA stuff. They didn't just simply retexture existing stuff. It really does appear to be sort of net new. But because there's already, some beet harvesting stuff, potato harvesting stuff already in the game, this doesn't really seem, a lot of folks aren't really excited about this as they have been with some of the other DLC releases. So what I'm actually thinking about doing is I'm actually thinking about, again, sort of saving the money from YouTube, and just basically maybe in the late summer start some sort of mechanism where we can start sort of a drawing or something like that with relation for FarmSim 19. Because obviously, if history repeats itself, we should be expecting FarmSim 19 to drop to be available in the fall of 2018. Of course, typically they release around the end of October, early November, each and every time. And of course, it sort of depends on, how the development cycle and everything, bugs and all that kind of stuff is going. I would have to assume that while FarmSim 19 may not be out in testing with just regular folks, I would have to think that FarmSim 19, the code, some form of functional software exists within Giants HQ at some point, even at this particular point in time, because the way that software development works is, if they're going to release something in, let's say, late October, early November, they're not going to wait to start working on that in September. This has been something that they have most likely been working on, maybe had a small team working on it, maybe since very soon after FarmSim 17 came out. So I would expect that we'll start learning more about what FarmSim 19 will actually be in the summertime time frame, And again, I would expect, if history repeats itself, I would expect that we would start seeing that towards the end of the year, the fall time frame. And I'm thinking that maybe, we'll just do that as giveaways. We'll see how it goes. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate you guys tuning in to my channel. Please make sure you come back again here on Midtown USA, or on Thornton Farm, or on Tazewell County. You're welcome at any of my farms. I appreciate it. Check out the Three Dudes Gaming Network, check out PCSG, and make sure you check out all those wonderful YouTube content creators that I have listed down below. They would appreciate it, I appreciate it, and you also hopefully will appreciate it. Take good care of yourselves and each other. God bless you all. Bye-bye.